right, as always, here's the risk disclosure. Know what you're doing before you trade. Trading futures is risky, and you can lose all your money. Good morning, everybody. How are y'all? Hey, JJ, what's going on? You still on here? Morning, David, everybody, Peter, Jim. Oh, looks like there's a Simplicity long just starting, but I just sat down and I'm just looking at my chart, so I'm going to have to miss this one. Double check my trade copier. Looks like there's a nice crash up at the red ice level on the 30 tick, 11,554.25. Let's see here. Ooh, we're down below the -7 dev. This might be a nice long to get in here. I kind of like this long to go up to the dev. Let's see. It's kind of in the middle of this range area. It's back down to where the entry would be, but I'm not going to chase it. It's early. Going to get a feel for the market first. See, and this technically would have been an LRE on this pullback here. Has HD2, but we're still in the middle, kind of the middle of this area on the 30 tick. So I really don't like taking that in the middle. Just let it kind of get a little nicer. See. Look at this. So yesterday, I don't know if y'all remember, this flux level right here. I was pointing out that it hit it a bunch of times, and if it broke it, it'll probably run long. Well, sure enough, it broke it at 10 a.m., shot up and stayed there the entire day, came back down, and now it's kind of hovering around that area again. Looks like it's a little bit of a resistance right now. I mean, a support. We might get a short. Now, if we get a short under this, it'd have to break below pretty much below this 504 area for me to feel comfortable with it, because it's kind of choppy to the left on the 30 tick. 436. Okay. Trading setup reveal. Actually, I'm getting close. So I'm about to hit pretty close to 800 subscribers. And I want to see about doing something once I hit 1,000. If I hit 1,000, I want to figure something out to give back to the community here as an appreciation. Do something nice. I'm going to have to think of something nice to do. I actually have an idea of what I want to do. I just got to figure out how to make it work. Let's see. Some low impact news in about 10 minutes.
Potential TX on NQ. Potential setup A on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Setup A on NQ.
This looks like it wants to break short. The issue is here. The simplicity lines are pretty spread. If we get a short under that area. Oh. Okay. That shot down too fast. Yeah, see, it's already 10 points below where I'd want to get in at. So I'm definitely not going to hop in now. That sucker just broke that bottom and shot. I didn't think it'd do that. Maybe there was some earnings. Let me see. Let me check that. But I will be looking for an LRE. Come back around that area. Today's the 26th. Boeing. Yeah, all the news, all the earnings already for the morning already came out. So, yeah, I don't know. That thing just shot down. Yeah. Yeah. We have 8 minutes till low impact news, but pull up my market analyzer here, see what the volume's looking like. It's not crazy, but it's increasing. If we come back to this wall, that's where an LRE would be. Yeah, I'd probably take one off this wall to go short. There's a crash now at late on the 10 tick. There's a cluster on the bottom of the 30 tick now, so it may want to, if it pulls back up and gives me an entry to go short, it'll probably come back down and test those areas. So let's see what happens here. It's leaving some ZOIs down below. See if we pull back up to this wall without leaving too much of a mess below. I don't like it leaving a magnet on top of a COI though. Morning. Just trying to watch here for a potential LRE. Didn't quite get there. May still get up there, but if you see now on the 10 tick how it's kind of, it didn't make a clean pullback. It's kind of not quite. It might still pull back up there, but now that when it pulls back up there, I prefer something else to go with it. Like it give me a TX or start laying a mini magnet or something up there if it goes back up there to tell me it will come back down. But it might not make it back up there. I don't know. We're at this 11,500 level. It's kind of deciding what it wants to do. Might get up there now. I just really wanted it to come back up and test that wall. Not quite. All right, now I might skip this one if it does pull up to the wall. It's kind of going a little too sideways for me. Unless if it goes up there and starts throwing up something really nice, like a potential Lorex or SLZ or something with it. But yeah, I'd actually prefer this to run down more and then pull back up to this wall now, or this bottom area. It's kind of my preferred at the moment, because we have that cluster right where we're at on the 30 tick chart. So it's very undecided right now. You can see that cluster right there. NZOI. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and skip now. I'm going to wait for a reset or for it to continue running short. Plus, we have 2 minutes until the news, even though it's low impact. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't think they're copying my trades right now. I'm not in a live account with them. Still just a PA, so I don't think they're copying my trades. I have a personal live account through NinjaTrader brokerage, but yeah, my accounts are still PAs with them. Yeah. So after a while, after you're in a PA for a while and you're really consistent, it's really just up to them. They'll kind of see whenever they feel like going from a PA to an actual live account. Either way, for us traders, it's pretty much the same thing. Whether we still get paid no matter what, but yeah, once they move you to an actual live account, then they might copy your trades. I think it's up to them. So I know John monitors all the PAs to see who would move to a live account. Also, I mean, maybe they have some kind of something that they go off of to notify them, hey, maybe we should move this person into a live account. Not too sure on that side. But I know I did hear John talk about, he's always watching, one of his videos, always watching to see who to move into a live account. All right. News is out. Again, it was low impact, but you just kind of want to see how the market reacts just in case. Yeah, for sure. If you get moved or if you're in a live account, that's definitely a great thing. Definitely. That means you're doing awesome. And I know that's what they really look for is the consistency, that you're not, doing YOLO trades, that you're not crazy and have a pretty much a set plan. So I mean, because right now too, there's a lot of days that, like, I was just looking over my numbers yesterday for the month, and I've had only 2 losing days this month, but I think there was like 6 or 7 trading days that I did not take a trade. So, if you're in a live account, that means that money's sitting there those days and not being traded. So, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but
Potential TX on NQ. Potential setup B on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Setup B on NQ. Potential SLZ on NQ.
ooh, simplicity got ugly. But it might break short here. If it breaks short, maybe go on another run. We just did not have a flip of the lines, which that's okay. I kind of take that as a reset, not to inner simplicity, but for an LRE. Like, because if you look, technically, you could have said this was an LRE. You could have said this one, maybe a couple points, but it was going sideways.
Potential TX on NQ. Potential setup A setup B on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Setup A setup B on NQ.
This market is running down. Might see if we get a run down to the -1 dev. We have a few ZOIs on the 30 tick down here below. You can see them on my 30 or on my simplicity chart here. A couple walls. That's really the only thing between the dev and where we are now. Just threw up a crash on the 30 tick. So we have this newly formed crash. Then we still have this crash up here at the red ice. So let's see where we go from here. We did break out of a chop. So I do like this. On the 50 tick, see how I was going chop 5 bars. Then we had a bar close down. Typically, this will come down and then pull back, test some areas up here, and then continue down. So we'll see if that happens. We had ODD down here on the 10 tick, but now it's building up some nice HD. It's still kind of sideways though. A little breakout. If this, I might take a, if we get an LRE off this wall, I might take it with all this HD. Yeah, because that's where that bottom was with the cluster and ZOI on the 30 tick. Don't like that magnet it just threw up. Be right here's the entry to go short. Let's see if it works. See if it gets held up at this mini magnet or not. I'm gonna give it its room though. That mini magnet held up. Let's see if these ZOIs hold up. Nope, knocked me out. That one did not hold up. Let's see. Got me out to the tick too. Dang, look at it. Yeah, I know. I was hoping these two ZOIs, because that one of them's on the 30 tick. I was hoping they would hold up. Excuse me. I woke up with some sinuses this morning. I was hoping they'd hold up, and it did, and it came down to where I had my profit target, but just got me out. Oh well. Now simplicity has reset. Let's see where it goes from here. Well, my thinking was right. Just knocked me out. That's all. Actually, my entry. Yeah, my fill was here at the wall. If I'd have got my fill a little further up, where it should have been, right here at the top of the ZOI, then I would not have gotten knocked out. But oh well, it's the way it goes sometimes. That's also a little bit of the problem with entering in with market orders is you can't control exactly where you get in. But when I've tried to use limit orders, I get to a lot of times it'll just not get me in. So I still use my market orders. Yeah. The idea worked. It just barely just knocked me out to the tick. Yeah, I used to do that where I'd put a limit order there, but like I said, when it's getting close, I've missed a lot of trades because of that. So this rarely happens. That just happens. So to me, I'd rather just continue this. If we get another short though, simplicity short, this may be the run down that it's going to go, but with these ZOIs below, could hesitate a little bit. So let's see if we get a short or not. All right, yep, looks like it's going to break. This thing runs before giving me a short, like it did earlier. All right, now this may be the setup bar. Well, shooting up. Testing that crash up here. That's that hesitating that I mentioned that it could do with these ZOIs down here.
Potential TBS on NQ.
The crash is coming from my 30 tick. It's I copy the order prints to my from the 30 tick to my 10 tick and my simplicity chart. So maybe that's why I think that ZOI, or at least one of them, is from the 30 tick for sure, or both of them actually. The daily low today is 11,436.25, so still have room to go before we hit the low of the day. All right, let's see if we get a setup bar now.
Double cluster NQ.
Might get a setup bar here if this comes down some more. Need both of these red lines on the simplicity chart to angle down. Nope, didn't get it. The last time it was down here was about midnight. And it looks like it had some chop. All right, this might be the break. Let's see. Might get a setup bar here, maybe, if it comes down a little more. All right, if it breaks this wall now, I'll probably hop in. If it continues down. Nope, still going sideways.
Double cluster NQ.
Yeah, I'd prefer that. But then not settlement. The dev is not too far away from there, so might be a bumpy ride down. But I feel like if it breaks this wall, where this ZOI is, then we're gonna make it down there, but it might be a bumpy ride. So that'd be something to expect if it did go short and we take a short. Then just expect a bumpy ride. We have a cluster here on the 30 tick now. So we're at right here 11. This bottom where the ZOI is 11,478 was yesterday's settlement level. So makes sense why it's struggling there. All right, I like this little mini magnet on the 10 tick that it left. Could be telling us it's going down. But it's only on the 10 tick, so it would have been better if the 30 tick was trying to lay a mini magnet. All right. Let's see if so right now it's doing the kink and burst, as John says. The market's in a kink, then it's going to burst. So whenever I see it doing this and going sideways and looking like it's looking, you know, I really, you know, it's going to break out and it's going to go eventually, right? So just got to wait and pay attention to it, because you know it's going to go. And when it goes, it's usually going to go. So we're kind of developing a chop on the 50 tick. We're on the third bar now. Usually when it starts chopping on the 50 tick, if you go 4 bars or more, then it'll likely break out after that. Might try to go long here. But it may just be testing this area where it struggled at earlier if it goes long, because that's where this ZOI is and cluster on the 30 tick, that wall. If it does pull up to that, I kind of want it to break above that before getting into a long. Might be getting a third bar sling on the 30 tick if this bar closes up. Right there. I would leave it there longer, but we might get a long here. Like I said, I'd want it to be above these ZOIs and all, but yeah, see, it might shoot up there, especially with this third bar sling. I'll use this as a setup bar, and if this pops above this ZOI, I'll probably hop in long. The third bar sling closed. Now it's testing it. But see, also that's why I didn't want to jump into a long until it broke that area, because it might just be testing it. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of things going on right now. This third bar sling is telling me it wants to go up. But this area is a crucial one to see if it breaks. If it breaks that, I think it's going to run a good amount, at least back up to the flux up here. Be a good 15 points or so. Yeah, tested this third bar sling. Now let's see if it wants to actually go or not. technically have a setup bar here, both angled up, and it did break that high, but I'm waiting until it breaks above the wall, above the ZOI, before I go long. Testing it again. It broke it. I'm going to get in. Barely broke it. But some volume pushed in. My stop is behind the third bar swing. So hopefully it doesn't want to come test it again. Yeah, we got some ODD now. With a magnet on top of that ZOI on the 10 tick. But I think this third bar swing here is going to be strong enough to push this market up. So if we can get a nice break of this, I'm expecting this to run. Yeah, up to that flux at least. Flux ZOI, which is pretty far up there.
Potential setup B on NQ.
Around 15 or so points. Once it hits that wall up there, I'll move to break even. Or just maybe actually below those levels.
Potential setup B on NQ. Potential TX on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Setup B on NQ.
See, you just got a Lorex against me. Hopefully that doesn't hold up. Oof. Sure did hold up. But shooting back up. Now we're going. We hit the wall, so I'm going to go ahead and move to break even. Or just about hit the wall. Market's getting a little bit erratic here. Might come back and knock me out, though. Let's see if it busts this wall. Just because that was a big shoot down. Let's see. Yeah, it might. If this knocks me out, I'm fine because the market's kind of jumpy right now. And if you look at simplicity, it's not really very clean. So that's why I'm at even, or a few ticks above even, just in case this thing decides to act a little crazy. That's typically what I do. So if it busts through this wall here, I'm probably going to tighten up behind the wall. I'm up 30 ticks or so. But I still want to give it some room. Ooh, Yeah, it's getting rejected at the wall. I'm just going to leave it at break even, see what happens. Because see, if I would have tightened up to the dotted line or somewhere, I would have been knocked out already. So I think this thing does want to keep pushing through. It's just, if you look to the left where we are on the 30 tick, there was a mini magnet, ZOI, a couple things. So it's not exactly very pretty. All right, now I'm going to go probably tighten up. TX. Got some 9 o'clock volume coming in. I really think this thing's going to come up to this ZOI up here. Yeah, it's pretty strong. But I think we're going to go up to the flux. Yeah, there we go. Move behind the wall. I'm going to tighten up here because I don't want to give back. We're hitting the flux. I don't want to give it back. All right, I'm out. That was about 50 ticks or so. This may come up. I think this will still hit that ZOI, but since it bounced that flux, I wanted to tighten up because I don't want it to be up 50 ticks and come back and knock me out at break even or 20 ticks. So, but see, now that I'm out, I'll watch for an LRE. It's kind of how I do it. I don't like to let it oscillate too crazy on me. Especially if I'm up, my opinion is if I'm up 50 ticks, I don't want to lose all those 50 ticks and get out at even or a few ticks. See, that's what really told me that third bar swing here was like, all right, we have a third bar sling. That means with a lower bottom here, that means, potentially it could make a nice run long. Came up here and tested this area and tested the third bar sling to the tick and then started making its way back up. So that's what told me, all right, this thing's probably going to run long if we get it long, which we did. And it gave me the confidence to stay in until the next order print was that ZOI. And then that's where those fluxes were. So that's why that was pretty much my target. Yeah, Vegas. I've done that a lot of times where I move my stop too early and I get knocked out. But this one I felt the confidence to not move to break even a few times until it had more room. All right, let's see if we get a LRE here at this wall with some HD. That'd be nice. Hopefully it doesn't chop around first. Hey, Richard. Richard D. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trading simplicity trades, but because I have an account dedicated specifically, only one account for simplicity. All the rest of my accounts are LREs only. All right, we have a lot of HD. If this pulls back to the wall, I don't like that there's, this other wall here, but there's a lot of HD. And it kind of chopped around a little bit at that wall. That was that wall that struggled to break through. So if it comes back and gives me an LRE to go long off of it with this HD, I would like it because it's basically coming back to test the wall. And with the HD, hopefully it would be saying, yeah, let's test this wall. All right, we tested it. Let's go back long. If that happens, that would be wonderful. We do have a cluster on the 30 tick now, so that kind of sucks, but I still like with all this a ton of HD. This could just be taking a breather. Come back down and test this wall, and then go. Ooh, didn't make it to the wall. It was close. Came down to 509. Technically, that could have been an LRE there, but I really think it's going to test this wall. Yeah, I don't love the chop, but then again, like yesterday, I like this wall to go long off of. Okay, now we might be getting an LRE here. I don't like the chop. See what it does here. Yeah, I like this. I'm about to, there we go. I'm gonna hop in this long. My target is through this flux, so if it does come up, knocked me out. Shot down on me. Oops. All right. So I got knocked out. Both. Yeah. Okay. I didn't. There was some red flags there, so I probably shouldn't have taken that one. I liked that wall though. I really liked that wall. But that cluster that popped up on the 30 tick, we did have some things up here. So, man, this is just crazy HD. But I had my 2 LREs that lost, so I'm done on those accounts for the day. I still have my simplicity account that I don't think I hit my target with. Didn't quite hit my target. I'm actually about halfway through my target. So I'll trade that one still. Might get a short. But we have a ton of HD, and we're back at this level with the ZOIs and wall. So I don't really trust a short here very much. Unless if it breaks it. Might break it. Might go short. Yeah, there it goes. I skipped it though because we're already pretty far into this, pretty far down, and I really don't like when simplicity sets up this way, where it comes down so far before you get your actual entry. Kind of made it to the bottom here, if looking left. So see if where it wants to go from here.
Double cluster NQ.
We might be stuck in this big range, actually, from where we just chopped around the wall and down below at 11,481 all the way up to this paw and these flux areas. That's pretty much where it's been all morning since I've been on. Not all morning, but during my trading session. Yeah, volume's definitely a lot lower. This is technically an LRE, but I don't like to take them when they're behind the original simplicity entry like this. Because it's not really trending at that point. It's creating more of a range. So I give it a few more minutes here to see if there's another nice move to hop in for simplicity. If not, like I said, I already hit my stop limit for the day on the LRE accounts. 30 ticks, that's it. Done. Call it a day. That's what keeps you in the game. Tomorrow, hit my profit. Next day, hit my profit. You know, then I'll have a nice profitable week. That's the key, is stopping, knowing when to stop. My simplicity account is doing great today. There's technically could have been a long here, but I'd want it to break above this paw before I really look for a long.
Potential TX on NQ. Potential setup B on NQ.
So that would have been an early entry. So you could wait for a regular entry above the paw. Because I don't like to take simplicity short, because the way it's set up and it before the actual entry, it moved down around, at least after it broke that wall, about 10 points, and it still had this massive HD building as it was going down. And this was kind of that area that I was looking at earlier, that it was struggling to break the double ZOIs and wall. So I really wanted a clean for it to break lower than that for me to want to go short, because this was more of maybe a testing area. Now, if we get a long above this paw, I'd probably hop in. Might get a long. Let's see. We do have those fluxes up there, but we also have that crash and red ice. That's way up there at 554. But once price starts getting close to that area or starts heading that direction, then it could be a draw. It could draw it up. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure what hedge funds look for and all that when they're making an investment. I mean, I know they need basically a history for sure, but I really don't know exactly what they look for. I think doing LREs would be hard, because there will be a certain point where you can only do so many contracts because it'd be hard to get filled. Simplicity, maybe, because you're going for a bigger run and you're almost always going to get all your fills, because you're entering a market order and you're looking to stay in for quite a while.
Potential OP rejection on NQ.
Yeah. Now, if you had like $100 million in a fund and you got a nice percentage off of that, you know, maybe, maybe that's more. I don't know. But I really don't know how they do that. Yeah, that's my thing. I want, I want freedom. That's my goal. Freedom.
OP rejection on NQ.
Yeah. There's a ZOI on top of that flux that you're talking about, Daniel. So that could be a good target. I mean, that's what I do anyways. As it gets up there, I just kind of tighten up as it goes. That's why I don't have a profit target or an actual profit target with my ATM. That way, if it just shoots up and runs, then it runs, and I'll just tighten up along the way. So about 9:15, 9:16 now. We're getting pretty close to the end of my session, so I'm just kind of waiting to see if we get a break, or if this thing wants to chop around a little bit, then I might call it a day here soon. About another 5 minutes or so. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is a stubborn area for sure. Looking at the 30. Some ZOIs, cluster. See, if we get a short here too, I wouldn't take it because then we're back at that wall. Not much further than that. We have the TBS, which it may come down to, but kind of a tight area. Could be a nice little scalp from the wall to that mini magnet. But this close to the end of my session, I'm not sure I'd want to take this risk because it's not really a no-brainer in my opinion. And I'm up a good amount on that account, so don't know if I really want to risk that on this one.
Double cluster NQ.
Might get a short below the wall. Looks like it wants to throw up a mini magnet on the 30. Left a mini magnet on the 10. That's too tight of an area for me to risk right now. Maybe if it was earlier in my trading session, if it breaks down, but because my target would basically be this third bar swing, 580, 489.25. My entry would be probably, yeah, so I'm looking at only maybe 5 points or so. I'm not taking that with around 5 point target, and I'd have basically a 10-point stop. So I don't like that. Not this late. Preserve my profit. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. We're getting pretty close here. Pretty much at the end of my trade session, getting close to the dark zone. It may run down to this third bar sling mini magnet, but yeah. Going to call it a day. So, good day for simplicity. 2 LREs lost. The first one kind of won, but I lost. So kind of a mixy day. So thank y'all for joining and hanging in here with me. For all of you still trading, trade well, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Take care.